Welcome to the Black Magic Woman podcast with Mandanara Bales.
I'd like to begin this podcast by acknowledging the traditional owners whose lands where this podcast has been recorded, also shot. Now we're on YouTube. So hello, or Watamuli in my father's Burigaba language. I'd also like to pay my respects to the Cubby Cubby peoples here on the Sunshine Coast, extend my respects to the elders past and present, and acknowledge that this always was and always will be Aboriginal land. We, as the First Nations peoples here in this country, now known as Australia, have never ceded our sovereignty. And that's so important as we embark on this journey in Australia around truth-telling and reconciliation. My name is Mandanara Bales and I am the host of Black Magic Woman podcast. So if this is your first time listening or watching, I hope you enjoy. This in particular is a special edition focusing on Supply Nation. Supply Nation is the leading, I would say, supplier diversity organisation in Australia with the biggest national database of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander businesses. I, as an Aboriginal businesswoman, have been part of Supply Nation for quite some time, but in this episode, you're going to hear from about 30 different peoples, both Indigenous and non-Indigenous, who actually attended the 2022 Connect event, and the theme this year was Reconnecting. The first time of coming together since 2019. I guess I just enjoyed seeing people that I haven't seen for quite some time other than through Zoom. So it's an opportunity for you to hear about what is Supply Nation, what is this event, what are people getting out of it? Why do people come all the way to Sydney, Australia, because there are people that come from, across the oceans. Why is this event so important? And why should we be, celebrating Indigenous businesses and what we've achieved, especially at the Supply Nation Gala event, which is a big awards night where we all get together and frock up. You'll see a lot of photos on Supply Nation's socials as well as my socials as well, where we come together and celebrate the achievements of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people in business, as well as non-Indigenous people who are doing business with us. So I hope you enjoy this special edition of the Supply Nation. We have got people like the founder of Supply Nation, Michael Macleod, a few words from him. One of my sister girls, Beck Halliday, you'll hear from her. And some other people, some familiar voices and people that you've never heard from. I want you to also think about, after listening or watching this episode, if you are an Indigenous business and you want to jump on this podcast, please reach out to me. Or if you know of an Indigenous business, let me know who they are, because this is an opportunity in terms of my podcast to amplify Indigenous and non-Indigenous voices and share with the rest of the world what's happening in this country. It's not all about business, inspirational stories of resilience, but more importantly, stories about who people are rather than what people do. So this edition is a little bit different. We are focusing on an event that just recently happened in May of 2022. So I hope you enjoy listening to the multitude of voices about their experiences, their thoughts and feelings. And just remember, this is live at the Supply Nation Connect event 2022. Alrighty, well, it's a familiar face. You've already appeared on the podcast a long, long time ago.
Many moons, what? Number 3?
Number 3. So without further ado, can you please introduce yourself? You know the geo, tell us who you are, your mob, but this time also tell us a little bit about your business.
All right, Larry Wilkinson Ma, I'm a Warramai Ngungiri man based in Newcastle. I run a company called Dira, and we specialise in the people type of strategy and framework for business in strategy, advisory, consulting, training, really about how we connect the DNA of Aboriginal cultural ways of doing, being and thinking with mainstream business.
Excellent, okay, and in terms of being here at the Supply Nation Connect 2022, what are you feeling? What are you thinking?
It's my first Connect. So, as a baby business, first year, a couple of months in, and then hit by COVID. So I've been basically a virtual business for most of my time in business. So really excited. I think it's great to see, black excellence in the Aboriginal business sector, to see that our Aboriginal economy is booming. Some familiar faces. The vibe is electric. Obviously getting to see people in person again is pretty deadly.
Excellent. Well, thank you for stopping by and sharing your thoughts.
Thanks.
I hope you enjoy the rest of the day.
Will do.
Deadly.
My name's Tyson Hubbard. I'm a Rodrigo and I own All Pro Plumbing Solutions.
You own the business?
Yeah, I'm the director.
Too deadly, bros. So what brings you to Connect 2022?
This is my first time here. I'm just trying to connect with everyone, get our name out there, a bit of exposure.
Alrighty. So where do people go to find you? This opportunity to plug your business?
J4.
J4?
Yeah, we're in J4 just at back here.
You on LinkedIn?
Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn. We're on social media, Facebook.
Easy.
Yeah, all the social medias.
So you all things plumbing?
All things plumbing, supply pipe, in-store pipe, the whole lot.
Based here in
Based
Sydney?
Here, Sydney, Southwest Sydney, Liverpool men, down
Too
the Gar Mob.
Too deadly. So if there's anyone looking for plumbing, residential, commercial,
anything.
You're the man.
I'm the man that come see me, come say hello.
Too deadly. Thank you for jumping on
No worries.
today.
Hi, Mandinara. So my name's John Hatton. I work for a small consulting business called Emphasis Portland. But what brings me to this event is that I was previously employed by Commonwealth Bank, which is where I met you.
Yes.
And I, having only lived in Australia for just over 2 years, learned a great deal, not just through my interactions with Black Card, but also being very interested in history and interested in all matters First Nation. I've really continued to absorb the whole vibe, if you like. And I was really keen to come along today, not only to see you guys, but also just to learn a bit more and perhaps have some really useful conversations around the theme and around the topic.
Of course. So thank you so much for dropping in. Nice to see you again.
My pleasure.
Well, thank you so much for jumping on. Can you tell us your name, your mob, and what brings you to Connect?
So my name is Jada Plater. I'm Bulgu, so we're from Northwest Australia, long way away from home today. And I'm the CEO and founder of Panku Safety Solutions. We're here representing the company today.
Too deadly. And is this your first time here?
No, I've been here a few times, but it's been a bit of a break after a couple of years of lockdowns. So it's really good seeing everybody again.
So tell me, for an Aboriginal woman in business, what does this event mean to you?
Look, I just absolutely love just seeing the progress of so many deadly businesses and that network of other Indigenous entrepreneurs, seeing our journey and sharing that journey over the years. Every Connect, it's like just seeing the new developments and innovations and the growth of business. Yeah. So I've really missed that the last couple of years.
Yeah.
It's great being here again.
My name's Kieran Lander. My people are the Dairy people from Lake Eyre, and my grandmother's people are from Mythica, which is Western Queensland, so the Channel Country, all the way down to Lake Eyre. I work for Young Guns Container Crew as Head of Indigenous Impact, ensuring that we do things as Indigenous business better every day for our people. So just started here.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
And tell us, is this your first time at a Supply Nation Connect trade show?
Yes.
And what's your thoughts?
Yeah, it's amazing. The people that have come past this morning and a little bit last night, I've got to see people I know. That's always a good thing. And my family, cousin of mine runs an engineering company called Myoc. So good to see him. And then just generally suppliers trying to do more, I suppose, for our mob and do things better. Also, we need to challenge them, but you get to meet them and hear their stories and how they fit within this supply nation.
Too deadly. Thanks so much for jumping on, and enjoy the rest of the day.
No worries, thank you.
Uncle, thanks so much for stopping by my little store here. Can you tell our listeners your name, your mob, and who you working for, what you're doing?
Yeah, my name's Jody Sampson. I'm a proud Gomeroi Gamilaroi man, originally from Moree, now living in Queensland.
Go the boomerang.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, the mighty rang. So I'm here for the first time at Connect 2022. I've just taken up a full-time job as principal facilitator and business lead with corporate culture.
Yep, Paul Dodd.
Yeah, Paul Dodd and
Yep.
Vanessa Ring and the rest of the team. And yeah, they do fantastic work. So not only am I training, but I'm also, drumming up business or promoting the business.
Of course.
Yeah, corporate culture's been around for a while. And yeah, I've been associated with them for over 20 years now. So
Too deadly.
I love it. Yeah, it's good.
And tell me about this event today in terms of what brings you to this event, obviously representing the business.
Yeah, first time for me, and it's just really proud to come from a business coaching background and, doing the miles in the early days to try and draw out our, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Island entrepreneurs, and to see this many businesses being represented it just fills your heart, and it gives you that injection to keep talking to mob, to encourage, to support, to nurture, and also, provide that, cultural education so that more pathways and opportunities can be created.
Too deadly. Well, thank you so much for jumping on. And for listeners, if you haven't checked out Uncle Jody Sampson's episode, go to the website and have a listen of his amazing story. So thank you, Uncle.
Yeah.
Braz, thanks so much for joining me on the podcast today. Can you share with our listeners who you are, who's your mob, and what brings you to Connect 2022?
My name's Brad Cook. Hi everyone. I'm a Bidjigal man from La Perouse community here in the northern part of Botany Bay in Sydney. And I'm here at Connect. I've been here quite a few years now. Just to come, I've played a few different roles. I used to work for the Commonwealth Bank, so I was here in that capacity to try and provide more opportunities for mob to get their businesses into the bank. But now I'm running my own business, Campfire X. We're like a media advertising company that's trying to change the perspectives how non-Indigenous people see blackfellas in everything we do.
And how powerful is to have more representation, especially when you look at news, print, TV. So you're in that space now, you're in that business.
Yeah, well it's not a new rodeo for me. As you know, I've been in broadcasting media for nearly 25 years. And for myself and my business partner Peter Kirk, two blackfellas who've never had really the opportunities in the mainstream that we probably thought we could have gotten.
Yeah.
Without
should have gotten.
Well,
in terms of your
it's easy for me to say, but a few other people have told me that opportunities that should have come my way in sports media which didn't. So rather than get annoyed about it, I thought, well, I am a bit old now, so I need to create something for younger fellas coming after me and that next generation, but not just in sport, across everything. And we're sick and tired of hearing negative stories about us as peoples, no matter where it is, whether it be in the print, radio, television, everywhere, right? Change of government sounds nice, but we've got to do it ourselves too. We can't be waiting on other people to change it for us. So we've already made some inroads. We've got some big companies on board at Campfire X. We're working with Facebook on our Connect to Country movement, and our support partners to that are Coles, Telstra, Tourism Australia. And then today we've got a little campaign dropping with LinkedIn. So everyone will see that today. It's about change that you make in Reconciliation Week and what we want non-Indigenous people in corporate and business and office spaces to treat our mob better. So that's dropping today. Later in the week there's a little surprise on Google that you'll see. We've had a couple of experiences over the last 12 months with the Doodles. So
the Doodles, love the Doodles.
We might be seeing something in the near future on that. So look, we're working with some very big clients, between Facebook, Google, LinkedIn, and we're doing some other great things. We're just really excited about, we used to say, look, just give us a seat at the table.
Yeah.
We've thrown that away. Now we're inviting people to our campfire.
Well, I love it.
Yeah.
I love the whole concept, love the business name. Big shout out to Peter Kirk. And if you want to listen to his episode, you'll find it there on the Black Magic One website. But hopefully I'll get Brad back on to talk about Campfire X and have a yarn.
He got a full episode. I got 2 minutes.
Yes, I know. So watch this space. Brad Cook back here. And it's video now. So, Braz.
I've got to hit that gym.
Thank you so much for jumping on the podcast. You are my youngest guest by far, and I'm so excited for people to finally hear about you and your story. So can you tell our listeners what's your name, who your mob is, and what do you do?
My name is Koryani. My mob is Gamilaroi and Marjorie. And in my free time, I like to just play video games and
You like to play video games. How old are you?
I'm 11, turning 12.
Okay.
In June.
And your father's Darren Dunn.
Yes.
And what do you do together?
Well, mostly we just do dot painting, and yeah, I did some of the headgear.
The headgear, are you talking about NRL players' headgears?
Yeah, and
Wow.
headgears.
So who have you met?
I met like lots of footballers. Dad has made headgear.
Yeah.
And we gave the headgear to the player.
To the player.
Yeah, we're going to.
You're going to go and gift one of the players a headgear that you help paint.
Yeah.
You are too deadly, my brother. And what does it feel like being here amongst all these black fellas in business?
It's pretty good.
Yeah? You think one day you might be here?
Yeah, maybe.
All right. Well, I'd love to see you here next year.
Yeah.
Thank you. Can you share with our listeners who you are, what's your name, your mob, and what do you do?
Yeah, my name's Darren Dunn. I belong to the Gamilaroi and Wiradjuri people. A lot of my life raised in Dubbo, but my mum and family, our bloodline, we're on the Burrawadi people of Coonabarabran, the Forky Mountain.
Too deadly.
Yeah,
And Buzz, what's your business?
My business is called Ochre Apparel, and been teaching in schools and education now 31 years, just went in May.
And in terms of Supply Nation Connect trade show, is this your first time here?
It's my first show, and just proud to be here, especially sitting with you.
Oh, thank you.
Just real people, and me and like I was saying earlier, me and my son are actually in the hotel room painting headgear and footy boots, and it was like we had to get out of the room, but to come to this
be here,
Supply Nation, to be with our people.
Yeah,
it gives us that break, and then we just go back to hotel life, culturally filled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, thanks so much for jumping on, and enjoy the rest of the day today.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for your time.
Braz, thanks so much for joining us on the podcast today. Can you share with our listeners your name, your mob, and tell us what you do?
Yeah, no problem, my sister. It's good to be here. My name is Kieran Shari. I'm a proud Biripi man from mid-north coast of New South Wales, and I'm co-founder of Logit Australia, an Indigenous software company.
Too deadly. And tell us, what does Logit do? And I know you said software, but share with our listeners in terms of your computer software, program, website building. What does Logit do?
Yeah, we actually make software in-house. We're a majority Indigenous business. We got 50% women as well. So yeah, kind of breaking new territory there. But we build products. One of our main products is called Weaver. It's a product for organisations to be able to manage their reconciliation journey.
Well, and Black Card is my core business, and we work with a lot of organisations that have reconciliation action plans. So there's an opportunity here for me and you to have a longer yarn to be able to introduce to the Black Magic Woman and Black Card kind of listeners and audience about what you do in like an hour instead of 2 minutes. But on that note, I just want to say, how does it feel to be here today?
Oh, the energy is so deadly here today. Like, we're loving catching up with everyone. It's been a long time, we've talked on Teams meetings and Zoom meetings and stuff, but it's so good to see everyone and touch everyone, give everyone a hug, and it's a real special day here today.
And who stands out for you the most? And I don't be biased, no. But what's some of the stores that you've been around or that just stood out, or are there new businesses that you were kind of blown away with?
Yeah, look, there's a heap of new businesses. That's been really good, after all of the I guess, difficult times that we've gone through the last couple of years. There's been heaps of new businesses coming up. I mean, I'm seeing all of these new creatives coming up. I think it's nice to see some of the old faces around, not old faces, black don't crack, but to be able to see Mitras and yourself and Crystal Kinsella and we saw 10-4 Media over there and Yile, who did our shirts for us, and that it's just exciting.
So Yile's here, Jesse Green's here.
Yeah, tour guide.
All right. Well, if you see the brother, send him over here so I can get him on the podcast.
Will do. We left our bags over there before.
Oh, too deadly. Well, thanks so much for jumping on. Enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you, my Tedder, for jumping on my podcast. Can you share with my listeners what's your name, who your mob is, and tell us what brings you to the Connect Trade Show?
So my name's Salu Mem. I'm a proud Torres Strait Islander woman from Sempol. I was born and raised in Woodridge. It's really good. This is my first time at Connect, and I've really enjoyed it. I've come with the Weaver team. I'm their trainee, and I'm so grateful to have this opportunity.
So how old are you?
I'm 21.
You're 21?
Yeah.
You're a trainee with Weaver, so Brother Kieran. And what has that experience been like working for an Aboriginal business?
It's different compared to working with the council. I used to work with the council. It's so different working with mob. So it's like you have more opportunities. I'm so grateful for it.
Yeah.
I can grab it with two hands and just take it all in. It's just it's an amazing experience, and especially to come to Supply Nation. Oh, it's amazing.
And what about your family? How many siblings do you have?
So I'm the eldest of 8.
Yes.
So there's 8 of us. There's 4 boys, 4 girls, and being the eldest, you have to be that role model for your siblings. You have to pave that path for them and show them what you need to do in life to be successful.
Of course, and I think it's really important for our mob, where we've got a lot of young people, and a lot of our young people ending up down the wrong way or ending up in youth detention or even taking their own lives. We've got the highest rate of youth suicide than anywhere else in the world.
Yeah.
So I'm so proud of you, my deadly little titter. I know you call me Auntie, but I'm not that old. And I'm sure your mum and dad and your community and your family are proud of you too. So big eso for coming on my show.
Eso, thank you.
And enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, Annie.
You're welcome. So good to see you.
You too, sis.
Can you share with our listeners, tell me your name, your mob, and what do you do?
My name is Dianella Mack, and I'm an Islander woman from Central Australia in Alice Springs. And I recently moved over to Brisbane about 3 years ago, and that's how I got to know what you're doing in this space.
Yes, too deadly. And what do you do?
I work at EY as their cultural capability leader, so in the same sort of arena as you, helping develop capability within businesses and with staff so that they can work better with our people in terms of delivering services and work with our mob within the companies that they...
Of course, it's a big need, and we need more people like us to do the heavy lifting, but then same time we need to pass the baton on to non-Indigenous mob to do the heavy lifting with us.
Absolutely, and that's the biggest thing. We can't do it on our own.
Yeah.
Like you said, there's such a demand, and there's a real risk of that burnout for one person to be taking that on.
Yes.
And so it's really nice for me, like the work that you're doing in this space is pretty inspirational to know that there's our mobs out there doing the same thing. So we're creating that impact and change that we're hoping to have.
Of course, thank you. And in terms of coming to this event today, what brings you to this event? Or is this your first time around?
First time to Supply Nation.
Yeah.
Absolutely wonderful opportunity again, that connect and learn and share and touch base with the right people that you want to continue those relationships when you get back home or to your workplace and, strengthen them.
Too deadly. Well, thank you so much for jumping on and hopefully catch up with you in Brizzy.
Oh, look, sis, it's great to see you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All the best.
Thank you so much for jumping on. Can you share with us, tell us your name, your mob, if you're Indigenous, you might not be Indigenous, and the company that you're here representing.
Thank you. Nice to meet you, Mondanara. It's been one of my goals was to actually come here and meet you. So there you go. That's tick number 1. So my name is Lee Mulvey, and I have my own HR consultancy. I am Aboriginal.
Yes.
And my mob is from Bundjalung up in Grafton.
Deadly.
Yeah.
So my sisters are from Grafton.
Oh, wow.
They're dailies, and I'm a Bundjalung woman through the Roberts side. So there could be a connection.
Yeah, we're from the Williams.
The Williams side. All right.
Yeah, through my grandma.
Too deadly.
And my dad was born up there as well. So
of course.
Aboriginal through my dad's side of the family.
So tell us, in terms of coming to this event, is this your first time here?
It's my second.
Second.
But it's the first time in my own business. I got a business called Optimal HR, and I started it end of last year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So it's HR focused on Indigenous, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people around coaching and mentoring programs and mediation as well. So conflict resolution for our mob, mostly in the workplace.
Love it.
Yeah.
So if I need any HR support or advice,
I'm the one.
I'm coming to you. Well, thanks so much for jumping on and enjoy the rest of the day.
Thanks, Mondanara.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much for jumping on the podcast today. Can you tell me your name, your mob, and what brings you to Connect 2022?
My name's Anne Hanning, so I'm from the Territory. I'm a Mudgero woman, and what brings me here is from the Territory coming here and looking at these fantastic businesses and what's in the market, scoping out who's who, and finding out what they do and where they work.
Is there anyone in particular that stood out so far? Or there's just too many?
There's a lot. I'm still navigating my way through, but I'm sure I'll find a few.
Yeah. And the company you're here representing?
EY, Ernst & Young.
Yeah. And what do you do at EY?
Okay, so I'm the NT Indigenous lead for the Territory. So my passion and what I do is work with communities and amplifying the voices of our people on the ground.
I love it. And it's a perfect fit because Black Magic Woman literally was born out of the frustration that a lot of our black voices were not heard. Only if you listen to Aboriginal media or radio. So for non-Indigenous people, how could we get our voices into their cars while they're going for a walk, into their homes, and hopefully in their families and their networks? So how do we amplify more black voices? And I love that your passion aligns with mine.
Absolutely, and it's about the cultural context as well. How do we bring that to life and have that cultural measurement and data and provide it to other businesses and government and everything and saying, no, this is what it actually looks like and feels like.
I love it.
So yeah, I love what you do too.
Well, keep doing what you do and hopefully we'll cross paths again soon.
Absolutely.
Is this your first time?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And in terms of being a first timer here, what's going through your mind?
Oh, I love the energy. Everybody, like black, white, whoever, the energy here is so powerful.
Yeah, it's contagious.
It is.
I guess I'll see you back next year.
Will do.
See you, Daddy. Thank you.
My name is Dario Medgorak and I'm here on behalf of ANZ Small Business, but in particular ANZ. This is my first time here and I'm absolutely overwhelmed with how many awesome people there is here today and amazing businesses. And so I'm really excited to be here today.
Big shout out to all the mob at ANZ Bank, especially the ones that have listened to Black Magic Woman podcast, because I promoted in the workshop, but also that have come along and done black card training as we've got this amazing partnership. So that's how you first met me.
Yes, I have. I did the black card training 4 weeks ago.
Yes.
We had an entire team of about 30 leaders that joined. It was the most eye-opening training that we have encountered. So confronting, but so informative.
Yeah.
There was a lot of emotions, there was a lot of tears on that particular day.
Yeah.
And we felt like when we all walked away as a group of leaders, we had a responsibility to keep getting involved with this beautiful Indigenous culture that we have that for whatever reason we don't really hear about it.
Of course.
It's mind-blowing.
And especially the Indigenous business sector, like we make up 0.06% of Australian businesses. So for people outside of Australia that are listening to this, we are literally 3% of the population. And then in terms of businesses, we make up 0.06%. So don't stop doing what you're doing. We need people like you to go out there, build these relationships and hopefully embed more Indigenous supplies in your supply chain. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me and keep doing the great work that you guys are doing.
Thank you.
Take
Enjoy
care.
the rest of your day.
Will do.
Tell us your name, your mob, and what brings you to Supply Nation Connect.
Sure. My name's Jack Reese. My mob, I am Badulag. So my heritage stems back to Bardo Island, Zenith Kes, but we all know as Torres Strait. Baidam Solutions is the name of my business, and that's what brings me to Supply Nation. Baidam, in my language of Kalalagaya, means shark. What we do is we protect our nation's borders, government and organisations from cyber criminals.
Wow.
Thank you.
Look out.
Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah. I've never heard
it.
of a business like this yet. Not a black business.
Well, deadly.
Deadly.
Because in our industry, the technology divide is speeding up. And our industry, the growth of if we keep going and predicting the trajectory, it'll be a $1 trillion industry. So what we do is
Bros,
cyber.
I'm in the wrong industry.
Well, come over. Yeah, come over.
I'm going. The elders, I'm out of here.
We want to be ahead of that. And that's the purpose. That's the mission. So we're trying to bring more mob into the industry. So come over, man.
I love it. So listen, in terms of like where you're based and have you got a national footprint? You must, because it's in the cyber world.
Yes, yeah, the virtual world.
The virtual world.
It's growing. You can be anywhere. Where we can be in America if we wanted to.
Yeah.
But we're not. We do have a national footprint. Queensland, down south to Victoria, Tas, then all the way west to Perth.
So, Braz, in terms of, is this your first Supply Nation event?
Third, but first as By Them Solutions.
And I see you got a team here as well.
Yeah, hey team.
So congratulations, first and
Thank you.
foremost, in terms of being in business. And it's not easy to kind of go, you know what, I'm going to leave the security. I used to have a government job about 23 years ago as a trainee. But that was, for me, it gave me the confidence then to like participate in the Western world and learn their way and come back to my community and share with my own family. I've got 5 young children, but to also teach them, like, you know, community's deadly, and there's a lot of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander businesses now, which is deadly, but also to go out there and get that experience as well.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah.
Is there any businesses that stand out for you this year?
Everyone, because if we can make more businesses, we can create more impacts.
I love it. Well, too deadly. Thank you so much for jumping on today.
Thank you for your time.
Enjoy the rest of the day.
Deadly. Bye.
Braz, thanks so much for joining me on the podcast today. Can you share with my listeners, like, tell us your name, your mob, and what do you do?
My name's Mckenzie. I'm a proud Rodrigo Gamilaroi man, born and raised in Griffith, New South Wales. Full time, I'm an Aboriginal artist. I've been blessed enough to have BP ask me to come in and do some artwork, showcase some of my artwork and stuff like that. So yeah.
Too deadly. And is this your first time at a Supply Nation Connect event?
Yeah, it is my first time actually. I've missed the other ones in the past, but yeah, I couldn't miss this one this year. So.
And what's your thoughts in terms of being here and
It's deadly. I didn't expect it to be like this. Like, it's deadly. I'm getting to meet many different brother boys and sister girls everywhere. It's
anyone you're related to?
Nah, I've seen some mob already, but I'm just trying to keep myself composed, painting over there. So.
Too deadly. Look, thanks so much for jumping on, and all the best. So what's your business called?
No, it's Alan Mckenzie Aboriginal Artworks. It's on Facebook, Instagram.
Easy.
Yeah,
so
deadly.
if anyone wants to reach out in terms of getting some artwork done for their organisation,
100%.
Braz, you're the man.
I'm the man.
Love it. Well, thanks so much for jumping on. Enjoy the rest of the day.
My name is Sam McLean, and I'm here from Woolworths Group, and I'm a part of the procurement team, and so we are really working to engage with Indigenous suppliers and let them know that we're open for business. We've been working on our diversity spend strategy. We've set targets, and we really want to now meet people, build relationships, and start having the conversations about how we can better support, promote, grow, and develop Indigenous businesses and work together.
I love it. Absolutely love it. I have not done business with Woolworths Group yet, so I'm going to give you one of my business cards so you can take away, and then we can talk about business. But I just want to say, have you been to one of these events before?
So this is actually our very first time in attendance. Obviously it's been delayed for the last couple of years for reasons we all know why. And so we've been really excited to show up. We've got our activation sponsor hub here, and we're just thrilled to be a part of it. So yeah, it's our first time and
love it.
Happy to be here.
Oh, good. And big shout out to brother Adam Bray.
Yes, he's with us today as well.
Who's, hopefully I'll try and get him on the podcast, but thanks so much for stopping by and having a yarn with me.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Oh, good. Have a good day.
You too.
Thank you so much for jumping on the podcast. And I know this is not your first rodeo on Black Magic Woman. So there is an episode of our yarn when you were with the Commonwealth Bank. But before we get into it, can you tell us your name, your mob, and what brings you to Supply Nation Connect 2022?
Thank you, my sister. My name is Prakash. I was born in Fiji. On the western side of the country, my dad's side of the family, I've got 11 uncles and aunties, and my mom's side 10. Privileged to be. I've been here since I was 16, so this is home for me. And I live in Castle Hill in Sydney. For the people that don't know where it is, it's about 35 kilometres northeast of Sydney, and it's the land of the Bidjigal people. They have connection to the direct mob further out west. I'm very privileged to live, work and play on their country.
How amazing is that for your introduction? And what are you doing now?
Part of the NEB team. I've sort of moved across to NEB 4 months ago. I lead the Indigenous Business and Community team, and part of that is to be able to bring a lot of the changes that's needed in this space to the team in NEB, and also to help the bank grow their Indigenous business.
And in terms of how many Supply Nation events have you been to in terms of Connect?
This would be my 5th or 6th, I think. Actually, we missed 2, so about 6th, yeah.
Yep. And what's your thoughts in terms of today with all of these, not just black fellas here, but all of the non-Indigenous people that are here as well?
Look, it's a great opportunity. I think there's some amazing businesses that are thriving. For me, the shift in corporate is to get them to see the vast majority that are business and the successful businesses that are here and all different streams of it. I think we get too caught into businesses when we're talking to them that they could be just either in tourism, or we have ITs here, we have furniture mob here, we have consultants, we have black card.
Of course.
And it's just amazing to get them and get the banks, the people that procure from them, to come and meet some of these businesses, get to know them. And for us, that's where the change is going to come from. I think if we understand this business a little bit more, then we kind of know what support we need to provide them and what they need. So.
And nothing beats face-to-face. So coming together and meeting mob face-to-face.
I think you talk to people and on the screen to see little faces of them, and when you meet them, they're larger-than-life characters. So for me, a bigger part has been just connecting with mob. I haven't seen a lot of these people for 2-3 years, I think, since we've got up last. But the nice thing is, nothing's changed. You meet these people and they're exactly the same.
Yeah.
And, they've all gone through the personal journeys in their life around changes that's gone through and what we've all gone through. But the most amazing bunch of people, and they're all willing to have a yarn and talk to you and share their stories. So very privileged to be in this place.
Deadly. Well, thanks so much for dropping by and being part of this special episode.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Matita, for jumping on the podcast. Can you share with my listeners who you are, what's your name, your mob, and what do you do?
Where do I start? Beck Halliday, very proud Burpie girl from mid-north coast of New South Wales, links to both Burpie and Dungutty mob. I'm the Director of Indigenous Services in Deloitte, really proud, new role, new practice, but also an exhibitor and an owner, so great to be here today.
Deadly. And as a black woman in business, what does this event mean to you?
Coming together, lifting each other up, being back face to face, all these months and now years of being on Zoom, not being able to connect the way that we do. It is just magic to be here today and to see everybody doing so well despite what the last couple of years have been like for us.
Yeah. And tell us a little bit about, in terms of the work that you've been doing at Deloitte's. It's a new role and you're in a new team with brother Joe Hedger.
Yep.
Liam there, representing.
Yeah,
you got Josh Devine. I know. So big shout out to all the mob there over at Deloitte's doing a deadly job. So tell us, what do you do? Like, what's some of the projects you're, the mob or a community you're working with? I guess because you're still there and it's not easy to be in a corporate environment.
Big adjustment, but heart and soul, for community, with community, lifting and raising them in every way we can, doing some phenomenal First Nations agreement making, really reshaping what that's going to look like in Australia. Lots of cultural heritage protection, working with government, really trying to progress and reform policies and bring mob to the centre, bring their voice up.
Love it. Well, Sis, very proud of you and congratulations on the new role. And just absolutely love what you're doing. So thank you for jumping on the show today.
Thank you. What a pleasure.
Thank you. What brings you to Connect 2022?
Thank you. And also great to meet you in person. My name's Josh Devine, proud honorary man.
Have we never met in person?
Never met in person.
Isn't that terrible?
It's crazy.
Okay.
Josh Devine, proud honorary man. And what brings me to Connect 2022? It's just meeting all these amazing, awesome people doing some really cool stuff. Connecting after such a long time virtually.
And tell me, who are you representing today in terms of the business?
So representing Deloitte's Indigenous Services Group. And it's great to be all here together.
And you're with a deadly mob over there.
Oh yeah, they're like the family.
I know, I'm jealous, but I'm going to stick with Black Card.
Yeah.
But I just want to say congratulations on your new role. And it looks like you're doing amazing things and you're still there. So that means a lot for mob when you join a new company after 3 months. If you're still there, then that must be a good organisation to work for.
Yeah, definitely. Doing some awesome things, but just supportive, big family environment. It's awesome.
So is this your first Supply Nation Connect event?
Yeah, in person, yeah.
Yeah? And what's your thoughts? What's going through your head?
I think it's, I think through work, it's been so awesome to meet these people virtually and some people doing some really cool things, but coming in person, just completely different vibe.
And we get to meet each other for the first time.
I know.
From a Wanneroo sister to a Wanneroo brother. Haven't had anyone yet on the podcast today from our country, but I know that our old people in particular, will be really proud of how we're participating, in business, mixing it up in organisations like Deloitte's. Here I am running my business and then with a podcast. Who would have thought when you think about the history of our people, especially from the hunter? So too deadly.
Yeah,
thank you for jumping on.
Thank you.
Hello, my Titter, and thank you for jumping on the podcast. Can you share with our listeners, if they don't already know you, because you've already been one of my guests on the Black Magic Woman podcast. So what's your name, who's your mob, and what brings you to Connect 2022?
It's just deadly to be here. Michelle DeShong, Cookie Yalindi woman, living on the lands of the Walkarookabar Bindal people up in North Queensland, but really pleased to be here on Gadigal country today as part of Connect 2022.
And what business are you representing? Your own business, or you connected a few ways here?
Yeah, connected a few ways here. No black fella only wearing one hat. So I'm actually a board member of Supply Nation, which is fantastic. So this is my second or third Connect event, which is lovely to be able to see everybody back in the halls and, hear about how businesses have fared through COVID and what they've had to adapt to do, and nice to see that there's some debut businesses here for the first time. But also, of course, as an Indigenous business owner myself, it's always nice to make those connections.
Of course. And in terms of the atmosphere, the feeling, what's going through your mind as you're walking around here?
Well, I think there's a really high energy around here this morning. I think maybe that's because blackfellas haven't gone up for a long time, and so just being good to be in that same place and seeing how everybody is. But also, I just think, as you walk around here, we've got more exhibitors than we've ever had, more registrations than we've ever had for people to be around. So I think Indigenous business has flourished, and now we know that all of these successes kind of culminate into really deadly stuff for our mob, regional and remote. And it's just nice to walk around and see that, and the deadly designs and the stuff that they're producing is amazing.
It's mind-blowing. It's like, in terms of a lot of non-Indigenous mob probably don't know the breadth, the scale, the diversity of where blackfellas are playing in terms of different businesses and industries. But as a Supply Nation board member, I just want to say thank you for sharing a little bit more about, there was more registrations. I haven't heard yet in terms of the growth of this event, and I've been here 7 times. So I can see from a personal perspective, things are growing and it looks like more people are coming. But as a board member, you know the numbers and you're seeing those registrations. So I just want to say all credits to the board, to Laura Berry and all of the staff at Supply Nation that make this event possible. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks. I think the staff are fantastic. They're walking around looking a little bit too calm right now, which is always a good sign. But the team has been incredible under Laura's leadership, and of course this is going to be her last one. But this is a culmination of some of that hard work over the last 7 years, and we are astounded every time we get to sit around the table and hear about some of those amazing kind of statistics, what Indigenous business is generating, and also the potential for that international, global scale stuff that'll be coming up in the next few years, I think, as a part of how deadly our mob are in business here.
So watch this space.
Absolutely.
All right, Martina. Well, thanks so much for jumping on. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you tonight. I haven't had you on the podcast before, have I?
No.
So this is the first time?
First time for everything. Actually, first time for ever a podcast.
Well, there you go. Well, thank you. Can you tell our listeners a little bit about yourself? So what's your name, who's your mob, and what brings you to Connect?
Yeah, so my name's Rochelle Towd. I'm a proud Wanneroo woman like you. I am the Managing Director of Pipeline Talent, which is an executive recruitment company for First Nations people. And I started the business 6 years ago, so it's our 6th birthday this year. And after reading a magazine article that talked about women in the pipeline and how women's numbers were increasing across corporate, community and government, and I thought to myself, if I replace the word woman with Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, where would the numbers sit? Evidently flatline, doesn't exist, although we do have our first male CEO of an ASX listed company in Brad Welsh, so that's exciting, but we need more. But I do think that there's going to be an Aboriginal business in the ASX very soon, and I'm excited to see that happen.
Is there actually, do you know of one?
I think that there's many coming.
Yeah?
You only have to see the people that we have in this trade show today. And seeing the amazing businesses. I mean, I bought gin, I bought, some different foods from around, T-shirts, bags, everything that we've got, from skincare to safety to absolutely everything. There's here to buy from an Aboriginal business, and there's no reason that we can't be publicly listed and representing.
Too deadly.
Yeah.
And to sum up how you're feeling right now being here, what
it's
would you
just
say?
so wonderful to reconnect with all of these people that we've just been missing for so long. As you know, we connect through people and through connection of, just being with people and being with mob. You can't get anything better. I was so excited to be here, brought my whole team, cost me an absolute bomb, but such an important event for everybody to be here and to reconnect. And I really love the words of, it was meant to be. Connect and reconnect.
Of course, it's a most fitting name after what we've been through, and we're still here, if not probably doing better than we was, but not for every business.
No, not for every business, and sometimes you do feel a little bit guilty, but on the other hand, you've got to feel really proud of the successes that we have had through COVID. My business has certainly thrived. We do amazing work and find an amazing Aboriginal First Nations talent to place in senior roles across the country, because we can do it.
Yeah, of course. Well, on that note, thank you so much for jumping on.
Thank you.
And I'll have to come back at you. Remember this, Clint, for Pipeline Talent to jump on and let's talk more about your business and the impact that you're having. So thanks so much, sis, for everything that you've been doing.
Thank you.
And enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you, darling.
Too deadly. My Tita, thank you for jumping on the podcast, and so lovely to see you here at the Connect 2022 event. Can you tell my listeners your name, your mob, and what business that you're here representing today?
Well, thanks for having me, Mara. So my name's Melanie Grills. I'm a Goomera woman from Mooring in New South Wales. I've been living in Brisbane for a while now, and I am the First Nations Program and Participation Lead at ACOM. So we're an engineering design consultancy.
Wow.
With a national footprint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in terms of this event, is this your first time at Supply Nation?
This is my first time at Connect, which is really exciting. So for us, it's been about coming along and with everything that's been happening over the last couple of years, even some of the businesses we've been working with, coming and seeing them in person and saying g'day and having a yarn, but also finding out the other deadly businesses that are out there, so that we can increase that representation and that knowledge of what's happening back in our business as well.
Of course. And in terms of working at ACOM, is there many blackfellas in the organisation? We're
building up a decent community now. Yeah, it's come along in the last few years.
Yep.
So we're partners with Career Trackers, which we've seen lots of the undergrads rolling off finishing their degrees now and choosing to stay on at ACOM, which is really exciting for us.
And the reason why I ask that is because you're in engineering, right? So in terms of our mob at university, they usually go for education, business, law and health. But when I was at the last QUT graduation of the Udjuru unit, there was every student, we covered nearly every single degree.
Yeah.
Which is really exciting.
It is. It's exciting. The tides are changing and it can't happen fast enough, but at ACOM we're hoping to be able to help people understand the different pathways of even coming to our business, and so that mightn't even be necessarily starting at uni. It might be coming and joining us through another role, and then finding out more about what we do and how we can support people to then maybe go on and do a bit of study to do some other things with us.
Love it. Yeah. And are you Brisbane based?
Yes.
Too deadly. Well, look, thank you so much for jumping on, and always it's lovely to see you.
You're welcome.
If there's any last words that you want to share with anyone that's never been to an event like this before, what would you say to them, the people that are listening?
Oh, I just think it's such an amazing energy down here. Getting our mob together is always very exciting, and it's absolutely a celebration of success, people's hard work and persistence. Just awesome to catch up and have those in-person yarns. There's nothing like it.
I know. So on that note, I might see you tonight.
And you. Thanks, Mara.
Thank you very much for coming on.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for joining me on this special episode here at Supply Nation Connect 2022. Can you please introduce yourself? Tell me your name and the business that you're here representing.
Yeah, my name is Mark Stewart. I'm representing ACOM Australia. First time here. Thank you for having me on. Very excited to be here. Really enjoying myself so far. It's been fantastic, really educational, learning so much from all the different businesses, trying to connect and build out our journey for the company. So my role in the company is I'm a change manager across Australia and New Zealand, and I'm working with the First Nations team to help develop their third Innovate Rep. And we're just doing that right now, building out a team and developing that. So today is a big day for me in an education and just mixing with a whole different people and just understanding and learning and building my journey. So yeah,
I love it. And there's an introduction here into my business, Black Car.
Yeah.
So I know that we'll probably touch base again in terms of learning more about the tens of thousands of years of knowledge that comes from this land, and that's what I love to talk about. So can't wait to do that. But on another note, is this your first time here? Have you been here? This is your
First time. First time in Supply Nation, and it's been an incredible. I didn't expect it to be this huge. It's massive and so many people, and just really lovely people wanting to connect and build a partnership, which I'm excited to be a part of. So it's been amazing so far. Yeah.
Well, lovely. Well, you enjoy the rest of your day,
Thank you.
We'll probably see you back for Connect 2023.
I hope so. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thanks.
Martetta, so good to see you here.
Oh my God, it's so good to see you, Mara. It's been a while.
I know it has. It's been phone, running in randomly on holidays in Coolum.
Coolum skate park with the kids.
Yes, but just tell my listeners, for those that don't know you, tell us your name, your mob, and what brings you to Connect 2022.
Yeah, great. So it's Leanne Leving, and I have two bloodlines. So I am Kondamuka, so Noogie woman from Moreton Island, and also Komameri from Gold Coast, part of Yugambeh Nation.
And what brings you here in terms of, are you here representing a business?
Yeah, I'm here representing Southeast Queensland Indigenous Chamber of Commerce, actually.
Yeah.
So this is my first Supply Nation Connect, and I'm absolutely loving it. I've been here only for a couple of hours, and the ideas and the connections are flying already, and I'm really keen to get back and follow up on some of the connections that I'm making.
And are you running into mob? Like, are you seeing people that you know that have come in from all over the country?
Yeah, absolutely. From Darwin, lots of Brisbane mob from Meanjin, obviously. But I'm really keen to get out now and meet some others and really connect with some other national businesses as well.
I love it. Well, as an Aboriginal woman that's been doing really well, especially with what you did at QUT, you're an absolute inspiration, my sister, and I'm so pleased that you got to come here, see this, jump on the podcast, but hopefully we can have a yarn and you can be part of the actual 1 hour edition. I'm going to tell the producer to get in touch with Leanne and have you on and just yarn about some of the work that you've done and the things in terms of just your journey on how you've become what you've become now. And I think it'd be a really interesting story.
Yeah, for sure, because my journey was an amazing 20-year journey at QUT, but what I've been doing since has been amazing. I'm really, some of the most meaningful work I've ever done in terms of I've been working with some mob in prison, doing an alcohol and other drugs program, based on what's called narrative therapy, which is something that I'm now studying, and I really want to have a yarn with you about that.
I love it. Well, on that note, thanks for jumping on.
Thank you, Mara.
And I will see you.
You are amazing.
So are you.
Thanks, sis.
This is Black Magic Women in action. Love you. I will see you soon. Brother, thanks so much for jumping on the podcast today. Can you share with my listeners, tell us a little bit about yourself. So what's your name, who's your mob, and what brings you to Connect 2022?
Nice, thank you for having me. Nara, Naklam, Kumadaru, Umbalawil, Tyrone, Kalbi, Waka Waka, Nugamura Guppin and Bindle of North and South East Queensland. My grandfather, Bill Glenbar, he's a Waka Waka and Kalbi traditional owner. He's passed on all responsibilities of Kalbi onto myself. So I'm now traditional owner of Kalbi country, and we've also got through his bloodlines to Nugamura Guppin. And then my grandmother, Iris Glenbar, she's from Townsville, also a Bindle woman. And I'm here at Connect. Actually, I was saying before, everyone in southeast Queensland, we are in the same circles, but we've actually never met before. And everyone has just said, "Hey, Montanara, like you two need to link up."
And we're here at Connect. So what do you do, Bros? Like, what brings you here?
I'm actually now working at Mckenzie, Mckenzie & Company. It's a global management consulting firm.
Oh my goodness, I've heard of them.
Yeah.
And I've never met anyone from there.
Yeah.
So you're the first person, and I would never expect to meet a black fella as young as you working for Mckenzie. Like you said, a global consulting firm that, is probably more known than your other big ones like your EYs, your KPMGs.
Correct. I'm the first First Nations person to ever work there.
Well, there you go. That's what I said. I've never met a black fella in that business or met someone from that business, full stop. So congratulations. Like, I have never gone through a rigorous process to that degree, but I have worked in a lot of mainstream organisations. I think Child Support Agency, federal government, was full on, like a 4-week process of trying to get in, do this, role plays, and then in the end I just thought, what if I don't get it and I put all this effort and energy into it? I would hate not to get it, but at the same time, not, when one door closes, or when 10 doors closes, one door will open. And I just felt like I worked and I earned that position. But some of the comments in organisations with people that, you came through the Indigenous Employment Program. Yeah. So then 6 weeks I actually quit because I couldn't deal with the fact that people thought that I didn't earn my right to be in that organisation. So all credit to you, my brother, and I can't wait to yarn with you
it's actually
on our own episode, bros.
Yeah, I reckon we can spin some yarns.
We can do it. I've got an hour to do that with you. So on that note, enjoy the rest of your day here, and thanks so much for dropping by.
Thank you.
And lovely to meet you.
Lovely to meet you.
Brother, thank you so much for jumping on the podcast today.
You're welcome.
Can you share with my listeners, just tell us, what's your name, who's your mob, and what do you do?
Okay, my name is Rodrigo Vidal Dawson. I'm a Kekwa man from the south of Chile. I'm a co-founder of Blackfish. It's a creative agency. I've got 2 lovely black fellas in Matt Priestley and Melinda Rudder, who are my partners. It's a female majority-owned scripted agency.
How deadly is that? On that note, is this your first time here at Supply Nation?
No, we've been coming here for a couple of years. This year was the post-COVID is the first time we kind of decided not to put a stall on. Yeah. And I was given the short straw to come down and shake hands and see everyone, seeing as Maddie's still in Moree and Melinda's decided to represent us in Singapore for the next couple of months.
Too deadly. And what does this event mean to you?
Oh, it's a great event. I wish it was not just in Sydney. I wish it travelled the country. It would give an opportunity for white fellas to engage, not with just Indigenous business, but with Indigenous ideas, strategy, and a bit of culture.
Too deadly. Well, look, thanks for dropping by.
Thank
it was
you,
lovely to meet you properly in person instead of via Zoom and Teams. But yeah, it would be good to see you again, maybe tonight.
Maybe, if I'm lucky.
What happens.
If I'm lucky, thanks for the time.
No worries, thank you for jumping on. My sister, thank you so much for jumping on the podcast today. It's an absolute pleasure to have you behind the microphone instead of behind emails.
I know, right?
Can you share with my listeners, tell me your name, your mob, and what brings you to Connect 2022?
So hi everyone, my name is Mishalia. I am a Torres Strait Islander woman.
Representing.
We're here at Connect because IBA is the charity sponsor for this year, which is I think the first time Supply Nation has done this. And today we are actually encouraging people to donate towards Koori Mail to help them recover from the Lismore floods. They've been doing lots of work in the Bundjalung community, raising funds to help the whole community with food drives and cleaning up. But today we're trying to raise money for them to rebuild their offices.
I love it because Naomi Moran is one of my Teddy girls. Got to get her here to give like a bit of a spiel about Koori Mail. But basically, it's probably the oldest First Nations newspaper that's now digital in the country that is Aboriginal community owned.
Absolutely. They've been going for 30 years. They're absolutely independent. They do everything themselves. So any support that we can get for them today would be appreciated. We also have a partner, Stockland, who is matching all donations made today dollar for dollar, so you can double your money up to 15K.
Wow. Well, on that note, sis, before you leave me, what does this event mean to you as a Torres Strait Islander woman?
I love coming to this event just to reconnect with Mob and see people we've been inside for such a long time. It's so lovely to see people face to face together and just having a yarn and connecting and enjoying walking around and seeing all the deadly businesses that are here. There are so many new ones and I'm really interested to have a yarn with them to see what they do.
Love it. Well, I won't keep you much longer, but I might see you tonight.
Lovely.
Lovely. Thank you.
Thanks, sis.
Thank you so much for stopping by and jumping on the podcast today. I would like you, please, if you don't mind, just to introduce yourself. So your name and what you do and I guess what brings you to Connect 2022.
Sure. I'm Amina Mardirosyan. I'm with AGL Energy and I'm Head of Social Impact for AGL Energy. What brings me here today? Well, firstly, to see you in person. We've done so many video conferences and I was very excited.
And we're now meeting face to face for the first time. It feels like we've known each other for years.
Exactly.
Through Zoom. Yeah.
So it's lovely to see you in person.
Likewise.
AGL is a silver sponsor of the event today. So we wanted to, after 2 years of not having opportunity to meet people face to face and in person, we wanted to be here to support our suppliers and also to meet some new suppliers.
Okay, well, I want to say thank you for giving Black Magic Woman this booth. If it wasn't for AGL, we wouldn't have the second booth. So thank you, and I thought I'd use this opportunity to bring people together from all walks of life to talk about what this event means to them. So is this your first Supply Nation event?
Yes, it is.
It's your first. And what's been the highlight of your day so far?
Well, as I said, meeting you in person.
That's too much.
Which is fabulous. And, everyone at AGL absolutely loves you and we've loved our workshops. So go Black Card.
There you go. Well, on that note, enjoy the rest of the day and will I see you at the dinner tonight?
Yes, absolutely.
I can't wait.
Looking forward to it.
Thank you so much. It's an absolute privilege and an honour to have you as a guest on this special episode of Supply Nation Connect 2022. So can you share with my listeners your name, your mob, and what brings you here?
Right. So my name is Michael Macleod. I am the chair of Supply Nation. I'm one of the co-founders of Supply Nation 14 years ago. We set this up. My people are Narrandjeri, South Australia, and Yorta Yorta, New South Wales. And I've got to say it's a privilege for myself just to see over 14 years where Supply Nation has come from. It used to be the Australian Indigenous Minority Supply Council, and then Natalie Walker at the time said that is just way too long and rebranded Supply Nation. I've seen every iteration of Supply Nation, as it's grown, it's just been extraordinary, the growth. And I've got to say, from the first trade show that we had way back,
all those years ago?
All those years ago. I think $625,000 flowed through to 12 Indigenous suppliers. They were the founding Indigenous suppliers.
Yeah.
And I think today, this year, it's approximately about 10 billion procurement dollars have flowed through.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, from corporate members and government to over 3,000 Indigenous suppliers who are certified and registered.
Lovely. Well, look, I'm not going to keep you any longer, but I would love to invite you back so you can have your own episode with me on the Black Magic Woman podcast, and we can talk for up to an hour about all the things that you do, and then we'll talk about your actual company, Message 6. So on that note, thank you so much and enjoy the rest of the day. And also, from Black Card, my business, my first opportunity was with Commonwealth Bank, but I used the Supply Nation kind of the database to connect with procurement people, and I haven't looked back. So from your vision and your leadership, I'm one of the Aboriginal businesses that I believe have done pretty well because of the contacts, the networks and the support Supply Nation's given me, so thank you.
Look, thank you so much. I appreciate it. We will catch up again.
We will.
But I will say kudos to you for following your dream. And Supply Nation is a vehicle that you use. That's
of course.
what you're meant to do. So,
thank you.
Brilliant.
Love it. I'm pretty sure you're feeling on top of the world by now by listening to all of these different people's thoughts and feelings about being at the event in person. Please put it in your diary for next year. I'm going to be there. We'll set up again, and hopefully you can jump on the podcast and share your thoughts and feelings as well. But just in terms of Supply Nation, Connect is Supply Nation's flagship event for the Indigenous business sector held in May each year. The event brought together Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander businesses, corporate organisations and government departments to foster new business opportunities and celebrate the success of the sector. Just remember this. The Indigenous business sector make up 0.06% of the 2 million Australian businesses. And for every $1 that you invest with an Indigenous business, in terms of the social impact that it creates, it's worth $4.41. There's people like Crystal Kinsella that you can reach out to. She has an amazing book around supplier diversity and engaging with Indigenous businesses. So I hope, you got a lot out of it. If there's Indigenous businesses that you've never heard of, go onto Supply Nation's website. They do have the largest or the biggest national database of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander businesses. So until next time, bye for now.
Don't forget to follow Black Magic Woman podcast on all social media platforms. To keep up to date with the latest episodes and news, head to blackmagicwoman.com.au. You can rate and review the podcast on iTunes, and please feel free to share the podcast with your family and friends.